All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, slight update on the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford camp, and that Errol Spence Jr.'s camp has something to say about the fight, specifically the trainer DERRICK James. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division again, talking about the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford. Recent message has been released by DERRICK James, the trainer of Errol Spence Jr. Not a what's the word I'm looking for? A certified thing saying that the fight is going to happen, but it is definitely a good sign when he talks like this. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. All right, so everybody's waiting to hear what's going on with this Errol Spence Jr. fight. Not a whole lot going on in the boxing world as far as major fights that a lot of people are interested in, other than the back and forth going on between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia about a potential fight at 135 pounds. But seeing as we just left years and years of talk about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford before it got anywhere near to where we are right where the fight can be made, I'm not as excited about the conversation about Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis because, in my opinion, Ryan Garcia and his team aren't really serious about making that fight because of a lot of the things that those guys are saying, right? But we still have the good old handy, let's talk about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford in this fight that looks like it's going to happen. Just recently, DERRICK James took to his Twitter, coming off vacation, saying, all right, vacation's over. Now it's time to get this one more belt, right? Now, if you don't recall, I did a video not too long ago where DERRICK James, ahead of the fight that Frank Martin was having with, who did Frank Martin fight, man? I forget the name of the guy that Frank Martin fought. Jackson Marinez. Well, Frank Martin fought Jackson Marinez. DERRICK James, who is the trainer of Errol Spence Jr. and the trainer of Jermell Charlo, was talking about the Errol Spence Jr. fight and with Terence Crawford, and pretty much to me sounded like he knew that fight was going to be a go. And the way that he was talking about, what Errol Spence was going to do with Terence Crawford, specifically at the time, what he said was that Errol Spence Jr. is going to dictate where that fight is and how that fight takes place. And that, a lot of people discount Errol Spence Jr. and think that Errol Spence is flat-footed, or that everybody that he fights is flat-footed, but that's not the case. Errol is just fighting and controlling the distance and making that person fight where Errol Spence Jr. wants him to fight, and fight as consistently and steadily as Errol Spence Jr. wants him to. And that's why you see him out there, guys like your Danny's Ugas, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and these guys looking like they are just standing in front of Errol. And it's not really that they're standing in front of Errol. It's just every time that they want to move, Errol cuts them off, or Errol keeps them within arm's length. So they have no chance but to fight. They have no choice but to fight that way. So today, or actually yesterday on his Twitter, when he says, all right, it's time to get this, one more belt. Clearly he's not talking about the undisputed championship that he has at 154. Clearly talking about Errol Spence Jr. in time to sit down, get into training, and prepare for this guy, Terence Crawford, which I think is going to be an absolutely miraculous, not miraculous is the wrong word, but absolutely spectacular fight, a great event leading up to the event and during the event, and also one that we very well may get multiple of. Because I personally don't see how else they're going to make that money work for Terence Crawford unless they give Terence a rematch clause and says, okay, well, if we if you win, we'll do it again. If Errol wins, you will do it again. Giving both guys a second bite at the apple, knowing that that means that they can also get a very, very big payday, similar to the way that Deontay Wilder did with Tyson Fury, where there was pretty much guaranteed from the beginning that there was going to be 3 fights, or at least from the period of time that there was a draw in the first fight, that there was going to be 3. So it very well could end up, like that in this type of situation, unless, for some reason, one guy or the other really does really win in a blowout where people are like, that was so one-sided. It's really not worth that. My estimation is I don't see that taking place. I definitely don't see it taking place from the Errol Spence Jr. side of it. I know there's a lot of Errol fans or Bud fans that talk about how Terence is just going to catch up to Errol and destroy Errol, and catch him coming in. I personally do not see that taking place, and I do not see Errol necessarily just being able to, stand in there and really just tear down and break down Terence Crawford and end him off with a broken eye socket like he did Yordenis Ugas. I'm not saying that either one of these cases can't happen, because truly Errol Spence Jr. can get caught by Terence Crawford. Terence is like that. He is definitely one of the top guys in the sport. I have him as my number 1 pound for pound fighter. And I've seen him do it over and over again. I saw him do it to Jose Benavidez when that fight was going on a really, really long time. And I was like, man, this is about to go the distance with Jose Benavidez. At that, when Terence Crawford needed to step it up, boom, there was that big shot he was looking for. Same thing happened with Igis Kalvanakis, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, right? When he's looking for that shot, he's been able to find that shot, right? Now he wasn't necessarily able to do it against Victor Postol, and I do believe Victor Postol is the last guy to stay awake the entire fight with Terence Crawford, but I still know that potential is there. And Errol definitely, in my opinion, looks way stronger in his last fight against Yordenis Ugas than he did in the previous fight with Danny Garcia, or the previous fight before that with Sean Porter, who are about, close to the level of Terence Crawford. And so I don't really think that this is going to be a gigantic step up for Errol Spence Jr. I don't think, or Terence Crawford. So it's just a fight that I think is going to be really, really terrific. And I'm happy that Derrick James is sounding of the mindset that the fight is going to happen. This is another sign that more than likely we're going to get this fight, along with the fact that Terence Crawford himself was interviewed by Showtime talking about the fight, and I just can't see why Showtime would be airing him, putting on the channel to bait cats or make people feel like this fight's going to happen when it's not going to happen. I just think we're just waiting on the official announcement, and everything is going to be good. But anyway, that's something out of Terence Crawford's camp. Errol Spence Jr.'s camp, something to hang your hat on. But we'll see as things go on. Anyway, you let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.